Live from Monon Park on the campus of UMass Boston, you're watching Little East Conference baseball action as the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs visit the UMass Boston Beacons. Good afternoon, everybody. Andrew Bluestein here with you. And we thank you for joining us on the Beacons Broadcast Network, as always. Well, UMass undefeated right now in the Little East Conference, 7-0, currently sitting in first place. And they're coming off a two-game doubleheader sweep against Keene State. They won the first game 7-5, and then they won game 2 15-9. So the Bats alive again. Also the story: Drew Metzdorf has been named LEC Player of the Week, batting .571 in 4 games with 3 home runs, including 2 in the first game of the doubleheader against Keene State. Has 9 RBIs and 4 stolen bases. So we'll keep our eye on Metzdorf as the third baseman today. But we're going to take a quick break, step aside, be right back after the national anthem to go over the starting lineups here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
And welcome back, everybody, here inside Monon Park. Andrew Bluestein here with you on the Beacons Broadcast Network, just ahead of first pitch here in Boston as we look at today's starting lineup for the visiting UMass Dartmouth Corsairs. Leading off will be the second baseman, Devin Vizina. Batting second, the shortstop, DJ Perrin. Batting third, the left fielder, Andrew Bryant. Batting cleanup will be the first baseman, TJ Keefe. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Andrew Posse. Batting sixth will be the designated hitter, Jared Nakin. Batting seventh will be the catcher, Matt Tampone. Batting eighth will be the right fielder, Chase Stafford. Batting ninth will be Brett Baker in center field. On the mound today for the Beacons, it'll be Ross Dexter. It'll be his 8th appearance of the season, 6th start. His record coming in is 3-1, has a 2.70 ERA, has 33 1/3 of an inning pitched, has 36 strikeouts to 16 walks. But the Beacons, again, as we mentioned off the top of the broadcast, coming into today 7-0 in conference play, currently sitting in first place atop of the Little East standings. As UMass Dartmouth 4-5 in the conference this season, they currently sit in 5th place in the LEC. So it'll be the battle of UMasses here today, this afternoon. Temperature at first pitch around 56 degrees. We did have overcast here during batting practice and warm-ups, but the sun has squeaked through here momentarily, so we hope that will stay the case as the batter, Vizina, will start things off here at Monon Park as Dexter looks in for the sign from Craig Corliss. Here's the pitch, and we're underway as that one fouled back for strike one. Beacons 17-9 overall. UMass Dartmouth 13-12, just one game above 500. As Dexter will deliver. That one fouled off to the right, and that'll get out of play, so that'll quickly make the count 0-2 on the leadoff man. UMass Dartmouth coming off a 13-6 winner against Castleton. It was the second game of a doubleheader. They lost the first one 5-1. So they look to start a winning streak of their own here as here's the pitch. That one high for ball one. So the first ball that Vezina sees in the count. Here's the 1-2. That one just missing outside, so that'll even up the count at 2-2 for Dexter, who is another guy who likes to work out of the stretch with nobody on. He looks in, delivers the 2-2. That one looped into right center field, and that one will drop in for a leadoff single for Vezina. So one man on now here for the Corsairs as the two-hitter Perrin will step in, the shortstop. The leadoff man aboard here in the top of the first. Dexter looking in. Here's the pitch. That one launched out to left field. Jimenez going back. As is Parker at the wall. Parker up against the wall makes the catch for the out. And heading back to first will be Vezina, but that one taken all the way to the warning track. But Parker making a nice grab out there against the wall in left center field. So a loud out for Perrin. And that'll bring up Andrew Bryant, who's batting .356, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs. So one down with still a runner on first here in the top of the first. As Dexter checks the runner. Now throws back, sliding in safely, is Vezina. And Dexter losing his hat there as the wind blowing it off there. As we have a little bit of a breeze here today, but it looks like it's blowing out more towards center field. Usually we see it blow out to right field. So we'll see how that factors into balls in the outfield today. Dexter will check again. Sliding back safely is Vezina. As Dexter will quickly get back to the rubber and look in for the sign. He gets it. Here's the pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Home plate umpire a little bit late on that one. I was going to ask where it missed, but was indeed called a strike. So 0-1 the count here on the three-hitter. And Dexter checking again, but back in safely at first is the leadoff man, Vezina. Dexter, the righty, comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one will miss for ball one. Evens up the count. Vezina takes his lead. Dexter to his set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike two. So Dexter ahead now 1-2. Against the left fielder Bryant, as the lefty will step back in. Dexter looks in. Here's the pitch, and he hits him. So a hit batsman, as Bryant will take his base. That advances Vezina down to second. So first and second now here with one out here in the first inning, as the cleanup hitter will step to the plate. TJ Keefe, the first baseman, another lefty. Keefe batting .368 as we get a big gust of wind here at Monin Park. Dexter will deliver. Breaking ball, that one grounded to Blake at second. Flips to second, gets the out, but not enough time to turn two. So runners now at the corners with two down here in the top of the first. As Blake, there was a close play there at second. He did get the out, but wanting to get the lead runner there. Ball was just hit too slowly to have any chance out of double play there. So Corliss will come out and call defensive signals as the third baseman, Andrew Posse, will step in. First and third. Now we'll check on the runner at first, but diving back safely there is Keefe. Dexter comes to a set. He fires. That one in there for called strike one on the first pitch of the count to Posse. Dexter wanting to work quickly here as he looks in, gets the sign, comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one outside to even the count up at 1-1. We'll see what the base runner Keefe does here with 2 outs. Has a sizable lead at first, and there he goes. That one fouled off, so perhaps a hit and run on there for UMass Dartmouth. But ball sent out of play. So 1-2 now the count on Posse. Dexter fires that one in there for called strike 3. And the Beacons will retire the side. So UMass Dartmouth strands 2 base runners. No score as we head to the bottom of the second. We'll take a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
And welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're into the bottom of the first inning as we take a look at today's starting lineup for the UMass Boston Beacons. Leading it off will be the center fielder Breon Parker, batting second, right fielder Justin Gavea, batting third, the red-hot Drew Metzdorf at third base. Batting cleanup will be the second baseman Aiden Blake, batting fifth, the catcher Craig Corliss, batting sixth, the shortstop Gianni Zerilli Jr., batting seventh, the designated hitter Nick Palma, batting eighth, the first baseman Boston Burris, and in the ninth spot in left field will be Mariano Jimenez. On the hill today for UMass Dartmouth will be Adam Marr, coming in with 6 starts, a 3-0 record, a 2.36 ERA, has 34 1/3 inning pitched, has 48 strikeouts to just 13 walks. So this guy throws strikes. But I'm sure the Beacons lineup will tell you they like that, as the offense has been the story of the season for them, as they just continue to put up runs. So Parker will stand in to lead things off here in the bottom of the first. Again, if you're just joining us, UMass Dartmouth stranding 2 in the top of the first, so no score as Parker waiting for the opening pitch. That one in there for a called strike. That one popped in and out of the catcher Tempone's mitt there. As Marr will look in. The lefty fires. That one missing for ball 1. Marr, another guy that likes to work out of the stretch with nobody on. That one swung on and missed for strike 2. Hefty cut there from Parker. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now on the Beacons leadoff man. Here's the pitch. That one high and away for a ball to even up the count at 2-2. Hart doesn't like the first option, and now him and the catcher Campone come to an agreement. That one in there for called strike 3 on the inside corner. So Parker will go down looking. So now 1 down for the Corsairs here in the first inning. So Justin Gavea will step in. Gavea batting .290 on the season, 7 RBIs. He's been hot lately. That one launched out to right field. That one going back towards the track. And that one is out of here. No, it's a ground rule. Or nope, it is a home run. So Gavea goes deep. My apologies, I couldn't tell if it had gotten out on the hop, but it is indeed a home run. So the Beacons will strike first and lead it 1-0. Again, my apologies. I thought that had bounced off the warning track and gone over the fence for a ground rule double, but it is indeed a home run. So Gavea, the freshman, with his first career collegiate home run. As that'll bring up Drew Metzdorf, who takes a ball inside. Metzdorf was named the Little East Player of the Week. He's been red hot. Last 4 games batting .571. As that one popped high in the air to right field. Right fielder coming in under it and will make the catch for the second out of the inning. As Stafford out there in right. Able to get under that one. So the base is empty with 2 down here as Aiden Blake will step in, the second baseman. Here's the pitch. That one missed for ball 1. The Beacons bats. Again, making some noise here in the bottom of the first. Justin Gavea, his first career collegiate home run. As Blake will take a ball in, so 2-0 the count. As I mentioned, it was Gavea who had been hitting very well coming into this game, and he stays hot as Blake will foul that one off to the right now to play. So the count will go to 2-1. Maher looking in, gets the sign. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Looked like a changeup there as Blake flailing at that one to even up the count at 2-2. Maher looking in. He delivers. That one grounded to the third baseman. Posse fires to first, and he's safe as the first baseman, Keefe, coming off the bag. That's the signal from the first base umpire. And Aiden Blake will reach with an infield hit. So that'll bring up the catcher, Craig Corliss, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, 1 run in. Here's the pitch. Corliss will take ball 1. As Aiden Blake will take his lead at first. Maher comes to a set. He'll go back to first. And Blake back without even a slide as he'll just step back to first. With the lefty on the mound. Always tough to read a lefty at first base. As that one in there for a called strike. The count now 1-1. Blake will take his lead at first. Here's the pitch. That one fouled back. So the count now 1-2 on Corliss. Marr comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one just missing the catcher. Tempone looked like he thought he had strike 3 there and was headed back to the dugout. But the home plate umpire not agreeing, so the count now 2-2. Corliss still alive as Marr comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one fouled back again. So Corliss stays alive. As the Beacons trying to extend the bottom of this first inning here. Already a run in on the home run by Gavea. Swung on and missed for strike 3, so Corliss will go down hacking, but the Beacons on the board. Justin Gavea, the freshman, with his first career home run out to right field. And the Beacons will lead 1-0 after 1. As we'll take a break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
I believe sportsmanship is it's a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people.
Welcome back here inside Moden Park. Andrew Bluestein with you here as we're into the top of the second. The Beacons with a 1-0 lead on Justin Gavea's first career home run. As the pitch from Dexter outside for ball 1. As Jared Neekin, the designated hitter, leading things off here for the Corsairs in the second. Dexter fires, breaking ball, catching the wind there, grounded to Blake at second, makes a nice play, and on time to first for the out. Nice play by Aiden Blake, sliding to get in front of the ball and having plenty of time to make the throw to Burris at first. So 1 down here in the second. So that'll bring up the catcher, Tempone. Tempone batting .227. That one grounded to Zerilli Jr. at short. Makes a nice play on the backhand. Throws to first. And in time for the out. So 2 solid plays by the Beacons infield. First Aiden Blake, and now it's Zerilli Jr. making a nice play at shortstop. As the Beacons put 2 outs on the board here in the second. Now this will bring up the right fielder, Chase Stafford. As that one in there for a called strike. Dexter's breaking ball has been effective so far here. He has used the wind to his advantage with it as well. That one will miss for a ball to even up the count. Dexter moving quickly here in the second as he comes to a set, and here's the pitch. That one, again, just missing outside. Make the count 2-1. Dexter gets the sign, comes to a set. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. As Stafford with a hefty swing there. Gets nothing and the count even. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball. Just missing. Inside. As I mentioned, he has that breaking ball going today so far. Curveball. So the count now full. Here's the pitch. That one popped high in the air. DeRilly Jr. and now Blake going out. Parker coming in, and that one caught by the second baseman, Aiden Blake. And 1-2-3 goes UMass Dartmouth in the top of the second as we'll head to the bottom of the second with the Beacons coming up with a 1-0 lead. As we'll take a look at the replay here from the last out. That was the first out of the inning. Nice play by Aiden Blake, a sliding stop at second. And then DeRilly Jr., a nice play on the backhand, leading the runner at first. And then the third and final out. Blake having not the best angle at this ball, but he was the closest to it, making a nice play out there in shallow center field. So we'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. And welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're into the bottom of the second. Gianni DeRilly Jr. will lead things off, batting a real strong .307 so far this season. As Marr delivers, breaking ball in there for called strike 1. Quick inning of work for Ross Dexter in the top of the second, as DeRilly Jr. will take a strike. The count now 0-2 on the Beacon shortstop. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3, so DeRilly Jr. goes down hacking on 3 straight pitches. As that'll bring up the designated hitter, Nick Palma. Palma batting .295 on the season, 14 RBIs. The lefty will take ball 1. So lefty v lefty here. As Marr will deliver that one fouled back. Even up the count at 1-1. One down, nobody on here in the bottom of the second. As Palma waits, here's the pitch. That one will be short for ball 2. And now they're going to say it's a strike. Late strike call by the umpire. So it must have been on the swing. And the count now 1-2. Marr delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So 2 strikeouts to start the bottom of the second here for the Corsairs' Adam Marr. Mar has had a real solid season so far, coming in 3-0, 2.36 ERA, as Boston Burris stands in, and he'll take strike one. Burris playing first base today. Here's the pitch. That one inside for a ball. Even up the count at 1-1. Here's the pitch. That one lined into left field, but it's fouled down the line. Solid piece of contact there by Burris. Just couldn't get it to stay fair. Count 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike three. So Adam Marr strikes out the side for the Corsairs. UMass still leads 1-0 after 2. Here at Monin Park, as we'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them.
Welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're into the third inning. Beacon still with a 1-0 lead on the home run by Justin Gavea, but last inning was the Adam Marr show as he struck out the side against the Beacons. As that one in there to the 9-hitter Baker for a called strike. Brett Baker, the center fielder, another lefty on this UMass Dartmouth team, as that one in there for called strike 2 from Dexter. The 0-2 pitch, that one missing outside for ball 1. One, two. That one lined out to right field. Gavea there, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. It was a solid piece of contact, but Justin Gavea in real strong positioning out there in right field, reading it perfectly. So we're back to the top of the order here for UMass Dartmouth. Zeno led things off with a single, and he gets another one there as that one up the middle for a base hit. So he's 2 for 2 now with 2 base hits. And he'll reach with 1 down. So DJ Perrin now will step in. Perrin flew out in his first at-bat. As Vizina taking his lead at first. Dexter fires fastball in there for called strike 1. Vezina again taking his lead at first. Decent sized lead. Dexter fires. That one lined in the center field again for a base hit. Gavea will field it on a hop. Now the runner almost stuck in no man's land there, but Vezina able to get back to second. He was thinking about it, but ultimately made the wise decision to return to second base. So 2 straight singles now here for the Corsairs as they have first and second with 1 out. And it'll bring up Andrew Bryant, the left fielder, as he was hit by a pitch in his first at bat. UMass Dartmouth trying to make some noise here with 1 out in the third. That one will be in there for a called strike. I got to say, this home plate umpire has a very late strike call, which is throwing me off a little bit. It's not every strike, but sometimes he takes a little pause before he calls it, as that one will be a ball as they appeal the swing. They say he didn't go. Nice job by Corliss to keep the ball in front of him there, so the count 1-1. So the 3-hitter Bryant, the lefty, as Dexter needing to get the signs again from Corliss. How he gets them. He'll check at second. Throw a little bit wide, but nice job by Zerilli Jr. Keeping in front of him as Vezina is sliding back in safely. Dexter looks in, comes to a set, the 1-1. That one lined out to left field. Heading back is Jimenez on the warning track. And that one off the wall. As the throw coming in, and Vezina will score. So we're all knotted up at 1 on the RBI double by Bryant. As that one sent way back at the warning track. Jimenez up against the wall, tried to make a play on it, but couldn't come down with it. A tough play to be made indeed. So runners now with 1 out at second and third, 1 run in. As the cleanup batter, Keefe, will stand in. Now we're going to have a conference at the mound between Corliss and Dexter, and Zerilli Jr., the shortstop, coming over as well. Deacon's talking about what they want to do here with the base runners. So Keefe grounded out into a fielder's choice on his first at bat. So he reached base as the runner was put away at second. So again, 1 out here in the top of the third, 1 run already in, with runners on second and third. Bryant at second, Perrin at third. Here's the pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed for strike 1, and a nice block by the catcher Corliss, with the runner just feet away at third. Dexter looking in. Here's the pitch. That one popped out to left field, and that one will just barely get into foul territory. That was close. Dropping in for a hit. So now the wind seems as if it's blowing out to right field, which it normally does here. Earlier, there is a breeze going out towards center. As the 0-2 from Dexter. Breaking ball in there for called strike 3. So a much needed strikeout from the Beacons dealer. will put 2 outs now on the board, as it'll bring up the third baseman, Posse. Posse struck out in his first at-bat. As Dexter comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one missing high for ball 1. Dexter looking in for the sign. Comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one looped off to the right, but that's going to get out of play. As Boston Burris, the first baseman, chasing it down, but no play to be made there. So the count will go to 1-1 on the third baseman today for the Corsairs. Here's the pitch. Another breaking ball just missing. That was close. Looked like Dexter wanted that one, but doesn't get it, so the count now to 2-1. Dexter looks in again, now comes to a set. Here's the 2-1. That one popped out of play to the right. That'll even things up at 2-2. Runners at second and third take their leads with 2 outs here in the third. The 2-2. That one lined up the middle, a base hit. And 1 run will score. Here comes the throw. Burris fields it. No chance, and the second run scores. So UMass Dartmouth gets those 2 runs in with 2 out and take a 3-1 lead here in the third. So Posse gets the RBI single, knocking in 2. And that'll bring up the DH, Neekum. So 3 in now for UMass Dartmouth here in the top of the third. Dexter trying to get out of it. Still 2 down here in the inning. Big lead there at first. Is swung on and missed by Neekum. Posse had a really sizable secondary lead there. We'll see if Corliss thinks about throwing down there. As Dexter comes to a set now, checks, and that one had to be picked out by Burris. Close there at first, but Posse diving back in safely. As Dexter right back to the rubber, comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one grounded to second. Blake had it, popped out of his glove, but he's able to get it. Pizzarelli Jr. covering second for the out that retires the side. But not before. UMass Dartmouth puts 3 on the board and takes a 3-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the third here from Monin Park, as we'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do.
child wouldn't change it for the world.
Welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're into the bottom of the third. Beacons now down 2 runs after a 3-run third inning for the Corsairs. Mariana Jimenez in the 9th spot today will lead off the inning as Mar delivers. That one swung on and missed for strike 1. Mar struck out the side in the second as the lefty looking to stay hot. Mentioned he's had an impressive season thus far. That one grounded to first. It'll stay fair, and a nice play. And then Jimenez colliding there at first base with Keefe just incidentally. But the Corsairs record the out. Looked like Keefe slipped initially making that play on the turf over there, but he was able to get back to his feet in plenty of time. So we're back to the top of the order now. Breon Parker, who struck out in his first at-bat, will step in here against the lefty Mar. Here's the pitch. That one inside for ball 1. So we had a little bit of sun early on in the game, but now seems as if the clouds have moved back in as the 1-0 is low for another ball, so 2-0 now the count on the Beacons leadoff man. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Mar gets a strike in the count, 2-1. Looking in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. That one inside, but called a strike. So that'll even up the count at 2-2. So Parker was ahead 2-0, but now finds himself having to protect here with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Mar. That one fouled off and out of play, so Parker stays alive, wasting a pitch there. Mar so far, 32 pitches, 23 strikes. Already has 5 strikeouts as well. As he delivers the 2-2, that one fouled back and out of play. So we'll do it again here with nobody on and 1 down here in the bottom of the third. Parker waits. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So now 6 Ks for the UMass Dartmouth starter, Adam Mar, who has been impressive. But that'll bring up Justin Gavea, though, who homered out to right field. And his first at-bat, that's his first career home run. As that one misses for ball 1. That is the only blemish so far on the day for Mar, who's on the mound. Looking in, gets the sign. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball will miss for ball 2. Gavea's home run out to right field, just getting over the fence and into the bullpen. I actually thought it was a ground rule double when it first happened, but it did get out. As a 2-0 in there for a called strike, so 2-1 now the count. Here's the pitch. That one grounded off, foul to the right. Gavea, the freshman, funny enough, a Dartmouth, Massachusetts native, but opting to come UMass Boston, as that one just misses to even up there, rather to fill up the count. So 3-2 now. Here's the pitch. That one Called a strike three on the outside corner. Gavea did not like that call, but he'll have to sit down, and as do the Beacons, who again go 1-2-3 in the third inning. As we go to the fourth, it is UMass Dartmouth with a 3-1 lead here from Monon Park, as we'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the
And welcome back here inside Monon Park as we're into the fourth inning. Ross Dexter's still out there for the Beacons, as he's looking in and delivers strike one to the batter, Tempone. Corsairs catcher. He grounded out in his first at bat. That one missing for a ball. Even up the count. Dexter fires. That one missing inside for ball two. So Dexter now up to 43 pitches so far through 3 innings. That one grounded to the right side and through for a base hit in between Blake and Burris. So Tempone gets on with a leadoff single here in the fourth. So that'll bring up Chase Stafford. Stafford flew out in his first at bat. As Dexter will check the runner at first. Tempone, who takes his lead. Here's the pitch. That one missing for ball one. As Stafford stepping out, getting the signs from the third base coach. Dexter fires, breaking ball, grounded to Metzdorf at third, had trouble with it, still gets the runner at second, on to first, not in time though for the double play, and it's too bad because if Metzdorf had stayed with it initially, you may have got him at first, but the Beacons will take the out at second, so they get the lead runner with now one out here in the fourth. Metzdorf in good position there, getting that ball, just kind of took his eye off of it a little bit, which kind of affected the play at first. Still got plenty of time for the out at second as that ball fouled off to the left and out of play by the 9-hitter Baker. Dexter comes to his set, checks on Tempone, dives back into first safely. Didn't look like Tempone was maybe ready there. That one swung on and missed. Or rather, sorry, the runner at first is Stafford, not Tempone. Tempone was retired on the last play. But the count now 0-2. To the batter, Baker. Dexter checking, diving back in. Safely is the runner, Stafford. So 0-2 the count on Baker with one down here in the fourth. Dexter checks again, diving back safely. Once more is Stafford. Dexter to a set, the 0-2 pitch. That one just missing. The ball one looked like Corliss. Thought he may have had it there, but Deacons do not get the call. Stafford again takes a sizable lead at first. They'll check on him, and they got him at first. A nice move by Ross Dexter. Gets the pickoff. So a big out for the Beacons, and now the bases are empty with two down. As I mentioned, he had a pretty good-sized lead over there, and Dexter was keeping him honest and was able to freeze him there and get the out. Breaking ball fouled off. So Baker stays alive, but the Beacons needed that. As Dexter looking in for the sign. Doesn't have to worry about base runners as he delivers the 1-2. That one fouled off, getting a piece of the catcher Corliss. So the count will stay 1-2. Dexter looks in, now comes to a set. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike three. So after getting the pickoff at first, Dexter then strikes out Baker to retire the side. As we take a look at a couple of replays here, here's the play by Metzdorf. You can see he just bobbled it a little bit, and that ruined the double play bid, but it ended up not mattering for the Beacons. Here's the pickoff. Just a great move there by Dexter, just freezing the base runner. We'll step aside, take a quick break, and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
And it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just a starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go.
What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people certainly stands out to that mission that was set right out in the beginning.
And we're back here inside Monin Park into the bottom of the fourth. Drew Metzdorf will lead things off. As Hadamar back out again, he's been very impressive so far. Through 3 innings of work now here into the fourth. As he delivers, that one popped high in the air, out to shallow center field. Center fielder coming on under it, and he will make the catch. Baker does for the first out. So, quick out there for the Corsairs. Aiden Blake now will step in. So, Marr has 7 strikeouts. As his pitch count just at 46 pitches. As that one swung on and missed by Blake for strike 1. Beacons just have 2 hits so far this afternoon as Blake swings and misses for strike 2. Like a changeup there from Marr, but one of the 2 hits for the Beacons was a Justin Gavea home run, solo shot out to right field. It's the only run the Beacons have thus far off of Marr. As he delivers the 0-2, that one fouled off by Blake, so he stays alive. But the lefty has been strong. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Blake. Blake again will fight it off. That one fouled off and out of play. Hitting the parking garage here on the UMass Boston campus. The count still 0-2. Blake fouling off the last few pitches. Here it comes. That one outside for ball 1. Marr comes to the set. Delivers the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So that's 8 strikeouts now for Adam Marr as Blake goes down on strikes and now puts 2 down here in the 4th. So now Craig Corliss, the catcher, up to him to extend things here in this inning. Marr looking in, now gets the sign. He delivers that one in there for a called strike on the Beacons catcher. Here's the 0-1. That one missing in the dirt to even up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. That one fouled off and out of play. So now 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 down, nobody on the bases here in the bottom of the 4th. Marr gets the sign. Delivers the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. That one in the dirt for ball 2. Lefty versus righty here. Corliss waiting for the pitch. That one outside to make it full. So strong at bat here for Craig Corliss, who is working the count. Here's the 3-2. That one missing low for ball 4, so Corliss draws the walk. And the Beacons have their first base runner, I believe, since the 1st inning. So Zerilli Jr. will step in with 2 outs here now, runner on first. And that one inside, not sure how it didn't hit him, went behind him. But a nice play by the catcher, Dampone, who had to get way out of position to keep that one in front of him. But the count will start 1-0 after that pitch way out of the strike zone. They'll check on Corliss. Doesn't have very much of a lead over there, but still trying to keep him honest. And Marr does not walk a lot of guys. Has just 13 on the season. So the count 1-1. Corliss taking his lead. Marr is going to check on him. Zerilli Jr. will foul that one off to the backstop. So he's going to have to protect now with 2 strikes. Ball and 2 strikes on him with 2 outs here now. And runner Corliss at first, who takes his lead. Marr delivers the 1-2. That one missing to even it up with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beacon's trying to work the count a little bit here in this 4th inning. That's how Corliss drew the walk. As here's the 2-2. That one popped high in the air but out of play. So the count will stay at 2-2. Beacon's doing the job of getting Marr's pitch count higher. Still just at 58 pitches. As he delivers the 2-2. That one launched out to left field, but that one's going to be foul. That one had a chance to get out of here if it was in fair territory, but Zerilli Jr. just pulling it a little bit too much down that left field line. Here comes the 2-2 again. That one lined into left field and gets down for a base hit. So the Beacons get a couple of base runners on here with 2 down. First and second. Corliss at second. Now Zerilli Jr. at first after the single. And just the Beacons' 3rd hit of the afternoon. So they get the first hit since the 1st inning. So that'll bring up Nick Palma. Palma struck out in his first at bat. As here's the pitch from Marr. That one inside for ball 1. Beacons trying to start a little 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 4th. That one in there for a called strike, even up the count. But Corliss drew the walk. He got the count full, and then Zerilli Jr. did a nice job of working the count, gets the single into left. And that's how we have the 2 base runners here in the 4th. Here's the pitch. That one, a changeup swung on and missed by Palma. So the count to 1-2. Big lead at first for Zerilli Jr. as Palma takes another ball. So 2-2. So 3 straight batters who had 2 strikes trying to work the count. Corliss able to get it full. As now it's 2-2 here to Palma. Here's the pitch. That one missing high for ball 3. So again, the Beacons continue to work the count here in the 4th. As we have another full count, runners will be going here. And Marr keeping Corliss honest there at second. No throw back, but he does step off. Now gets back to the rubber and looks in for the sign. He'll get it from the catcher, Timpone. The 3-2 pitch to Palma. He will foul that one off to the right now to play. So we'll do it again. Runners have to retreat back to second and first. Marr checks the runner. The 3-2 again. In there for called strike 3. Palma disagrees, but it doesn't matter. So the Beacons will strand 2 as we're through 4 here from Moden Park, as we'll head to the 5th. UMass Dartmouth still leading 3-1. We'll take a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Something UMass Boston should be and can be very proud about.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online.
Welcome back inside Monin Park. Andrew Bluestein here with you on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Thank you for joining us as Beacons still trailing here as we're into the fifth, 3-1. Ross Dexter back out here for the fifth. As we have, looked like as that ball fouled off for strike one, but Nick Assad looked like he was up and moving around in the bullpen. Now looks like he's throwing out there. So keep our eye on that as Dexter comes to a set. Here's the pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Dexter has had the breaking ball working pretty solid here this afternoon. As here's the 0-2, that one high. Orlis set up, standing there. Is looking for a high strike, perhaps trying to get the batter to chase. As here's the 1-2, that one skipped in. Even up the count at 2-2 on the leadoff man, Vizina. Vizina has 2 singles so far. Swings and misses there for strike 3, though. So Dexter with the K gets the first out here in the fifth. So 4 strikeouts now for the Beacon starter here today. So DJ Perrin now will stand in. Dexter fires. Looks like catcher Corliss there may have got crossed up. And that'll cause ball 1. Dexter to a set. Here's the pitch. That one in there for a called strike. Dexter looking in. That one shot back to the mound, but gets to second. Aiden Blake. A nice play, gets the out. So 2 down now here in the fifth. Looked like Dexter was going to have a shot at that, but it was a much easier play for the second baseman, Blake, who had all the momentum going towards the ball, and he was able to get it to first in plenty of time to record the second out. So Dexter now up to 60 pitches here through 4 2/3 innings. As that one misses for ball 1. Mentioned, looked like Nick Assad is out there throwing in the Beacons bullpen. Now looks like we have somebody else up and stretching. Tell you who it is in a second. As Dexter fires the 1-0, that one missing for ball 2. And it looks like it might be Brendan Ferrari who's up and stretching in the bullpen as Dexter fires the 2-0. That one misses for ball 3. And it is indeed Brendan Ferrari. Dexter has 2 outs, but a 3-0 count, and he'll deliver strike 1. So the count now 3-1. On the 3-hitter Bryant, who had an RBI double in the 3rd inning. And that'll even up the count now, or that will pull up the count rather, so Dexter battling back after starting off the batter 3-0. And he'll deliver the 3-2 pitch. That one grounded to second. Aiden Blake there, fields it cleanly. Throws on to Burris for the out that retires the side. So we're through 4.5 here now from Monin Park. As looks like we have a couple of replays here. As Dexter with the strikeout there on the leadoff man, Vizino, who had 2 singles. And then nice play by Aiden Blake at second, charging, gets the out at first. And then Blake making the 3rd out as well. Beacons infield has been strong here this afternoon. But there you have it. Quick inning for the Beacons as we'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
And welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're into the bottom of the 5th. Once again, Adam Marr back out there as you would expect him to be, who's been just about flawless so far for the Corsairs. As Boston Burris will stand in to start things off, and he'll foul off the first pitch for strike 1. Burris back in as the 0-1. Here it comes. Marr delivers and swung on and missed for strike 2 by Burris, who's now in an 0-2 hole here. Marr already with 9 strikeouts here on the afternoon. That one missing high for a ball, so 1-2 now the count on Burris, who is leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for the Beacons. Here's the 1-2. That one hits Burris, so he'll get on to start the 5th inning. Not what Marr wanted. So now each starting pitcher has a hit batsman. As now Mariano Jimenez will stand in. So Burris, the runner at first, he'll take his lead with nobody out here in the fifth. Here's a pitch. Jimenez shows bunt and then pulls it back. And it'll be a ball, so 1-0 the count. Beacon's trying to play some small ball here as their MO this season has been putting up runs, and Jimenez again showing bunt. Third baseman way in, and they'll check on Burris, who gets caught. And he was frozen there, so Marr now gets the pick off. So we saw Ross Dexter have a pick off of his own, but now Marr, the lefty, gets one. So that'll clear the bases now with one out. Now Jimenez has to swing away. Well, I guess he doesn't have to, but there's no point of bunting anymore. Move over the runners, so the count 1-1. Here it comes. That one fouled off again. So 1-2 now the count on the UMass Boston left fielder. Here's the 1-2. That one high and in. Even up the count at 2-2. Two-two pitch. That one grounded up the middle. Fielding it is the shortstop, Perrin. Throws to first, gets away. And Jimenez in there safely. So the Beacons get a runner on here with one out, and that'll bring things back to the top of the order. As Breon Parker, who has 2 strikeouts today, 0 for 2 so far. So the Beacons still have yet had a batter retired in this inning. The one out was a pickoff play. Boston Burris at first base, as Parker with a defensive swing there fouls it off for strike one. Jimenez with the lead at first. Here's the pitch. Parker swings and misses for strike two. Parker looking like he was a little late on that one. Trying to avoid striking out for the third time this afternoon. Bases an 0-2 count as Marr comes to a set. Checks on first, diving back safely, Jimenez. And it's always so hard to read a lefty when you're at first base. You never know if they're going to go over there. You really have to keep your eye. There's another one at first. Jimenez diving back safely, a close play. But you don't have, as a runner, the benefit of keeping your eye on the back foot. You just have to keep tabs on where the pitcher's headed with the ball. As he fakes a pickoff move there, and that one popped high in the air to right field. Coming on, though, is Stafford to make the catch for the second out of the inning. So that'll bring up the lefty freshman, Justin Cavea, again, who homered for the Beacons in the first inning. Out to right field. It's his first career collegiate home run. But he looks to continue the inning here with Mariano Jimenez at first. That one swung on and missed for strike one. Looked like Cavea was sitting on a fastball there and got a breaking ball. Jimenez takes his lead, and Marr will check on him. Jimenez dives back safely. So again, we've had A base runner for each team now picked off at first base. As Marr fires, that one grounded to the right side, diving off the glove of the first baseman. Nobody there to cover, so no play to be made. And everybody's safe, so the Beacons again now, for the second straight inning, will put runners on first and second with 2 out. And that'll bring up the red-hot Drew Metzdorf again, reigning LEC Player of the Week, coming up in a big spot here. Has 4 home runs on the season, and 3 of those 4 home runs coming in the doubleheader series at Keene State. That one in there for called strike 1. Metzdorf hit 2 home runs in the first game against Keene State, including a grand slam, and then hitting a second one in game 2, which was en route to a 15-9 Beacons win. That one launched out to center field, but that'll be right at the center fielder, who hauls it in. Baker for the out, and that will retire the side. So again, the Beacons stranding 2 with 2 out, and UMass Dartmouth still with a 3-1 lead as we head in to the 6th inning. So we're through 5 here at Moden Park, and we'll step aside and be back after a quick break here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective.
And welcome back here inside Moden Park as we're into the 6th inning. New pitcher on the mound for the Beacons. It'll be Brendan Ferrari. 11 appearances, 1-0, 16 innings, a 6.75 ERA, 18 strikeouts to 9 walks. As he delivers the first pitch, that's called ball 1 on the outside to UMass Dartmouth cleanup hitter DJ Keefe. Ferrari deals that one lined into center field. Parker can't get there in time as it drops in for a base hit. So Keefe starting things off with a leadoff single here in the 6th. Ferrari, a right-hander, junior out of Dunstable, Mass. Is showing bunt and in there for a called strike. Maybe he was on the swing. It looked like he tried to pull back, but I don't think he did. As Posse trying to perhaps play a little small ball here, move Keefe over to second, and again showing bunt. Here's the pitch. That one fouled off, so he's going to have to swing away here. So Ross Dexter with a fine outing. He went 5 innings, allowed 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks, which I think is the best thing. You don't ever want to just put guys on, so always good to see. That one in there for called strike 3. So Ferrari gets Posse on 3 pitches after he showed bunt for the first 2 and then looks at strike 3 on the 3rd pitch. So that'll put 1 out on the board here in the 6th. As Neekum, the DH, will stand in now. As Keefe still at first, he had the leadoff single. He takes a lead, and that ball will be low for ball 1. Ferrari, the righty, comes to a set. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. That one grounded to Metzdorf, and it gets under his glove and into left field. So it was a hit and run, and Metzdorf took his eye off of it, and it just gets under his glove. He would like to have that one back. That's a play we usually see him make. But again, I think he had just taken his eye slightly off the ball and checking the runner at second, and that allowed the ball to get under his glove. So that'll put runners on second and first. Now here with 1 out in the 6th. That ball launched out to left field, but Jimenez looks like he's under it. He is, makes the catch for out number 2. And he'll get that one quickly into Zerilli Jr., so the runners do not advance. Corliss signaling the 2 outs. As Stafford, now the right fielder, will stand in. Ferrari checks the runner, now delivers. That one in there for a called strike. I think I've figured out the home plate umpire by this point. He kind of steps back when he wants to call a strike. Does take longer than usual, I'd say, for most umpires to call a strike, as that wild pitch gets away. Corliss laying out, but that'll advance the runners to second and third. The wild pitch charge to Ferrari. The count will be 1-1. So now the runner's closer here with 2 out. UMass Dartmouth up to 7 hits now on the afternoon. They're trying to get these 2 in with 2 out. That ball fouled off for strike 2. So 1-2 now the count. As Ferrari trying to get out of a jam here. A small jam, but put himself in the situation after the wild pitch is what moved the 2 runners over to second and third. Here's the 1-2. That one grounded to Metzdorf at third. Throws on to first and gets the out to retire the side. So we're through 5.5 here from Monin Park. The Beacons will be coming up. Still down 3-1 here in Boston, as we'll take a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
In the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason. That recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is it's a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work.
And welcome back here inside Moden Park. Aiden Blake leading things off here in the bottom of the sixth, as that one fouled off and out of play. So Adam Marr still out there, as that is his 89th pitch. He has been impressive today. Count 0-1. On the Beacons cleanup hitter, Blake. That one missing for a ball to even up the count. Here's the pitch. That one missing for ball 2. So Marr, 9 strikeouts so far for the sophomore out of Plymouth, Mass. Has a 2-1 count here. Here's the pitch to Aiden Blake. Blake lines that one to center field. Center fielder going back. That ball still carrying. And that ball's out of here. A home run for Aiden Blake. So the Beacons cut it to a 1-run game. It's 3-2, their second home run of the afternoon. And so Blake will get his 5th of the season. So they take Marr deep for the second time. Gavea got him first in the first inning. And Aiden Blake now just about the same area out to right field. Gives that one a ride for his 5th of the season. And Craig Corliss now will step in, so the Beacons cut it down to 1. It's a 3-2 game here in the bottom of the 6th, as Corliss taking a ball to start off his at-bat. Here's the pitch. That one missing outside for ball 2. So we've yet to see anybody warming up in the UMass Dartmouth bullpen. Now we have somebody up and throwing around, it looks like, out there, as Corliss swings and misses for strike 1. Looks like we have some double barrel action going on out in the UMass Dartmouth bullpen now. Marr delivers that one low in the dirt for ball 3. Corliss waiting for the 3-1. Here it comes. That one flied out to right field. Right fielder, though, Stafford under it and will collect it for the first out of the inning. So Gianni Zerilli Jr. now will step to the plate. That one swung on a miss for strike 1. Zerilli Jr. singled in his last at bat. So it looks like Nathan Potter and Sam Watts, as that one popped up to the third baseman, and bringing it in as posse for the second out of the inning. So after the home run by Aiden Blake, 2 outs recorded by UMass Dartmouth. But as I mentioned, Nathan Potter and Sam Watts warming up in the bullpen right now for the Corsairs. But seems as if Marr has settled back in after allowing the home run as he gets 2 quick outs, and Palma takes ball 1. That one swung on and missed for strike 1 to even up the count. The 1-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. Palma, designated hitter today, with a big swing and a miss there. So now he'll have to protect with 2 strikes and 2 outs here in the 6th. That one grounded to the first baseman, Keefe, who fields it cleanly and steps on first for the out that retires the side. But the Beacons get one back and cut the lead to 3-2. As we'll check a replay here of the home run by Aiden Blake, which is why we are at a 1-run game. Blake sending that one out to right center field into the Beacons bullpen. And so going into the 7th inning, as we're through 6 here from Monin Park, UMass Dartmouth leading UMass Boston 3-2. As we'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school,
Welcome back here inside Monin Park. Andrew Bluestein here with you into the 7th inning. A new pitcher for the Beacons, Thomas Kearse, 11 appearances, 3-2, 14 innings, a 3.21 ERA, 14 strikeouts to 7 walks on the season, as he'll deliver strike 1. And that one swung on and missed by Baker for strike 2. The 0-2, that one missing for ball 1. So here's the senior lefty out of Cohasset, Mass. Comes in relief for Brendan Ferrari, as going down swinging there is Baker for the first out of the inning. So Kearse strikes out his first batter. So Ferrari goes 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, no runs. As that pitch in there for called strike 1 from the senior lefty. Kearse fires, that one grounded But foul as Metzdorf made the play over there, but not in fair territory, so that'll make it an 0-2 count as Vezina will step back in. It looks like he's laboring a bit. Not sure if he tweaked something or fouled the ball off his foot, but he's walking a little gingerly back into the batter's box, kicking that left leg around, it looks like, but he'll step back in. The 0-2, that one line foul and out of play. As we have the replay of what happened here. Yeah, it looks like he just fouled it off at the inside of his foot. Great work by our productions crew there to get that one in slow motion. And those ones sting. And Vezina does not wear the ankle guard that you see a lot of players wear. That one lined up the middle for a base hit. That one was a frozen rope up the middle. And so the UMass Dartmouth leadoff man will reach first here with one out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Perrin. Perrin, really good numbers on the season, batting .429, 8 home runs, and 33 RBIs. As that one lined out to right field, Gavea playing way over, so it's going to drop in for a hit off the wall. They're going to send Vezina and going to third now. As here's the throw to the plate, and it's not in time. So Vezina scores, and the Corsairs get the lead back to 2, so it's now 4-2. After Perrin has an RBI triple. As Gavea was playing more towards center on that one, and it dropped right down the right field line. So now 1 in with 1 out here in the 7th inning. That one outside for ball 1. So Perrin now at third. So his impressive season continues. As I was reciting the numbers when he gave that ball a ride to right field. That one swung on and missed for a strike to even up the count. So Bryant, a lefty waiting for the lefty's pitch. That one lined into center field. Parker coming in, but it drops in for a base hit. Another run will score. So it's now 5-2 for the Corsairs as they get 2 straight hits, a triple, and then a single that drops in front of the center fielder Parker by Bryant, which now brings up the cleanup batter Keefe. So the Corsairs making some noise here with an out in the 7th. 2 runs in now. Pierce delivers that one grounded. The runner was going, so no play to be made at second, but Gurley Jr. fires to first for the out. So another hit and run, second one we've seen here executed by the Corsairs this afternoon. So Posse will step in now. With 2 out. And the runners at second is Bryant. After he went on the pitch, it was a hit and run executed very well by UMass Dartmouth. That one lined out to left field. Jimenez going back, gets over his head. That one's going to drop and go off the wall and bring in another run. And sliding safely into second with a double is Posse. And the Corsairs go ahead 6-2. So Thomas Kearse getting into a little bit of trouble here in the 7th. That's now 3 runs earned that he has allowed. He got his first batter out, but the middle of the order here for the Corsairs doing some damage, and we're going to have a conference at the mound as Kearse trying to settle down a little bit. As the Beacons have some action in the pen. And it looks like it's Josh Garner out there who's throwing. As the Beacons talking things over, be curious to see if Marr comes out for the 7th. He is currently at 101 pitches. We do have action in the UMass Dartmouth bullpen. Can't tell who it is right now who's out there warming up. So Kearse trying to get out of the 7th inning. Runner at second is Posse. Here's the pitch from Kearse. That one missing inside for ball 1. To the batter, Neekum. Kearse comes to a set. Here's the 1-0. That one grounded back past Kearse, fielded by Blake. And diving into first base was Neekum. He was well behind that throw. And the Beacons get the out. That retires the side, but some damage done by the Corsairs as they put 3 runs on the board in the 7th inning and now go ahead 6-2. So the Beacons down 4 runs heading into the bottom of the 7th, as we'll step aside and take a quick break here during the 7th inning stretch and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I did receive an honor.
Welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're into the bottom of the 7th. New pitcher on for the Corsairs. It'll be Nathan Potter. 8 appearances, 1-1 record, 7.1 innings pitched, 7 1/3 innings pitched, I should say. 7.36 ERA, has 6 strikeouts, no walks, and has 1 save on the season. Potter, a sophomore righty out of Greenville, Rhode Island. Austin Burris will start things off. So a really impressive outing for the starter for the Corsairs. Adam Marr continues to have a strong season, as the first pitch from Potter will miss for ball one. So Marr goes 6 innings, allowing 2 runs, 2 earned, 6 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. As Burris flies that one out to center, but center fielder Baker will make the catch in right center field for the first out. So Nick Farnese will pinch hit here. So that will do it for the afternoon for Mariano Jimenez. So Farnese hitting for Jimenez. Farnese batting .217 on the season, 1 RBI. A lefty here. So the Beacons turning to the bench as they now find themselves down 4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Corsairs putting up 3 in the top of the 7th, as Farnese will take strike 1 from Potter. Potter working out of the windup. That one grounded, played by the shortstop Perrin. He'll throw to first for the second out of the inning, as we are back to the top of the order. So Breon Parker will stand in with 2 outs, trying to extend this 7th inning. Parker 0 for 3 this far, has 2 strikeouts and flied out, as he'll take strike 1 from Potter. Potter deals. Parker holds off on that one. No swing. And it'll be ball 1. Not even sure why they appealed that. Parker wouldn't even call that a check swing. As Potter rather shakes off the catcher, now deals. That one grounded right back to the Corsairs pitcher, who stabs it on a nice play and underhands the first for the out that retires the side. So the Beacons go 1-2-3 in the 7th. Strong outing in relief for Potter. So we're through 7 now here from Monon Park. We head to the 8th with the Corsairs coming up and still leading 6-2, as we'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear.
And welcome back here inside Monin Park. Another new pitcher on for the Beacons, Josh Garner, the freshman out of Arlington, Mass. 7 appearances, has a 0-2 record, 7 1/3 inning pitched, a 1.23 ERA as he delivers ball 1, 9 strikeouts to 3 walks, and has 1 save on the season. Should also mention that it is now Joey Morrison in left field, replacing Mariano Jimenez for the Beacons. It was Nick Farnese who pinch hit for Jimenez in the bottom of the 7th, but it'll be Morrison taking over defensively as the count is 2-0. That one ripped into right field. That one will get down for a hit as Gavea has to track it down and does a real nice job of cutting that ball off, because if that one got behind him, that's an easy 2 bases for the catcher Tempone, who starts things off in the 8th with a leadoff single. That'll bring up Chase Stafford now. Garner, a breaking ball that didn't break and goes flying over the head of Stafford. Corliss had to be alert to get to that pitch. So that'll start the count 1-0. With the catcher Tempone on at first after the single, they'll check on him. He slides back in safely. As that pitch gets away, and rolling down to second is Tempone, so wild pitch there by Garner. As now Corliss will come out to calm him down. As Early Jr. joining the conversation as well. And now we have everybody converging on the mound as pitching coach will come out. Looks like we have somebody up and moving around in the Beacons bullpen. Don't think they have started throwing yet. And looks like it's Jackson Snyder who's out there and moving around for the Beacons. I don't believe he has started throwing yet, but is definitely stretching. And now he has started throwing. As the mound meeting will dissipate. Nobody out. Runner on second is Tempone. After singling and then advancing on the wild pitch, as Garner on for the 8th. Here's the pitch. That one missing for a ball. So Garner coming in relief for Thomas Kears, who went 1 inning allowing 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 1 strikeout. As Garner delivers 3-0. And that one called ball 4. Corliss not able to hang on to it there. So the first 2 batters will reach. So a single and a walk now allowed by Garner. That'll bring up the center fielder Baker here. Still with nobody out in the top of the 8th. Baker shows bunt. lays it down right back to the pitcher. Nice play by Garner, and he gets the lead runner at third. So Baker not able to execute the sacrifice bunt, as that'll be scored a fielder's choice. So Beacon's got a much needed out here. Garner, after he put the first two batters on, well, the first one was the single and then walked the second batter. So runner's still on first and second now with one out. As we're back to the top of the order, Vezina in there. That one in there for strike one. That one slowly grounded to Zerilli Jr. at second. No play there. Goes to first to get the out. So another fielder's choice, but this time the runners advance for the Corsairs. Second and third with two outs now. That'll bring up DJ Perrin. Who had an RBI triple in his last at-bat, and the Beacons will just elect to put him on, so an intentional walk will be scored there, and that'll load up the bases with two outs, so that'll bring up the three-hitter now, Bryant. Bryant had an RBI double, so pick your poison here for the Beacons. Not much you can really avoid with middle of the order having a day for the Corsairs. That one blooped out to left. Metzdorf there makes the play in foul territory for the out that retires the side. So the Beacons able to get out of it unscathed. As we'll head to the bottom of the eighth. UMass Dartmouth still leading 6-2. We'll step aside for a quick break and be right back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
But I decided not to give up, so, and UMass helped me.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity. There's a lot of people. Here there is a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
Oh, sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just a starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go.
What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people.
Welcome back inside Monin Park into the bottom of the eighth. Beacons down to their last six outs here. Justin Gavea leading things off. Potter remains on the mound for the Corsairs as he delivers that one called a ball to start off 1-0. Gavea hit his first career collegiate home run back in the first inning out to right field. As that will miss for ball two. Here's the 2-0. That one lined into left center for a base hit. So Gavea, with his third hit of the afternoon, starts things off with a base hit. That'll bring up Drew Metzdorf. We have some action in the UMass Dartmouth bullpen. Kevin Moskowitz warming up, as well as Chris Custagain, I believe it is, who's in the pen for the Corsairs. But Beacons have the leadoff man on. Gavea takes his lead. Here's the pitch. That one in the dirt and blocked by the catcher, Tempone. So Metzdorf takes ball one. Beacons down 4 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. They'll check on Gavea, who slides safely back into first. Head first. Potter now comes to his set. That one high for ball 2. UMass Dartmouth has 12 hits on the afternoon. The Beacons have 7, but just 2 runs. As that one blocked in the dirt, so 3-0 the count now. As Metzdorf waiting. Here's the pitch. That one in there for a called strike. But as I was saying, the only 2 runs that the Beacons have, both coming on solo shots. The first one by Justin Gavea back in the first. And then in the 6th, it was Aiden Blake with his 5th home run of the season. That one looped out towards right field, but that will get out of play. Foul ball. So the count will remain full. The 3-2. That one grounded foul again, this time off to the left. So we'll do it again with the full count. Gavea at first. Nobody down here in the bottom of the 8th. Beacons need to get something going here. Again, down 6-2. After a 3-run 7th inning by UMass Dartmouth. Here's a pitch. That one lined to left field, but right at Bryant, the left fielder, and he'll haul it in for the first out of the inning. But that'll bring us up to Aiden Blake, who homered to right in his last at bat. So Gavea is still the runner at first, now 1 away. With the Beacons cleanup hitter stepping to the plate. Here's the pitch. Big secondary lead by Gavea there at first, as that one in the feet of the catcher Tempone. Couldn't find it there for a second or two, but was able to get to it. Potter checks the runner, comes to a set. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a balk. So the balk charge to the pitcher Potter, and that advances Gavea down to second now. So runner in scoring position with 1 out. Here's the 1-0. That one missing outside for ball 2. Gavea takes his lead off second. Potter comes to a set. Here's the pitch. Slide step. That one lined into left field for a base hit. And they're going to hold up Gavea at third, as he would have been dead to rights if they had sent him. So good call there by the third base coach. And Runners now on the corners, first and third, with one out. And that'll bring up the catcher, Craig Corliss. Corliss has walked in his first at-bat, and now it looks like we might have a pitching change here. Or a mound meeting at the least. As everyone converging. As they're talking to Potter, and we will indeed have a pitching change. So it'll be Evan Moskowitz coming on for the Corsairs. That'll do it for Potter. And with that, we'll take a quick break, step aside, and be right back after this pitching change here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. And welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're in the middle of the bottom of the eighth. Beacons have runners on the corners here with just one out. We have a pitching change. It'll be Kevin Moskowitz for the Corsairs. 6 appearances, no decisions, 8 2/3 of an innings pitched. 4.15 ERA, has 7 strikeouts to 2 walks on the season. But the Beacons make it a little bit of noise here in the eighth with a couple of base hits. Gavea at third. Gavea has 3 hits on the afternoon, including the home run back in the first inning. So Craig Corliss, the catcher now, will step in, trying to keep this inning going. As the Beacons desperately need to get some runs in here, still down 4. So Moskowitz will deliver that one in there for a called strike. Corliss didn't like that one, thought it was off the plate. Lets the umpire know about it. So Moskowitz is a junior righty out of Seekonk, Mass. As the 0-1 will miss outside to even the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Aiden Blake at first. Justin Gavea, runner at third. 1 out here in the 8th. Here's the pitch. That one slowly grounded to the shortstop. They get the runner at first or second on to first for the double play, and a nice play by the first baseman. As Keefe had to stretch and pick it at the same time. And the Beacons again strand a couple of runners. That's now 9 total on the afternoon. Or rather 6 total on the afternoon. UMass Dartmouth has stranded 9. But that will put us through 8 innings here from Monin Park as we head to the 9th. And take a quick break here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
It certainly stands up to that mission that was set right out in the beginning. It's something UMass Boston should be and can be very proud about.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
And welcome back here inside Monin Park as we're on to the 9th inning. New pitcher again for the Beacons, Jackson Snyder. 10 appearances, no decisions, 10 2/3 innings, 6.7 ERA, 8 strikeouts to 11 walks on the season. Snyder, a junior righty out of Durham, North Carolina. Here's his first pitch. That one missing inside for ball 1 on the first baseman, Keefe. Here's the 1-0. That one grounded to Burris at first. Makes a nice play, and he's able to win the race to the bag. It looked close, but Burris did get there first to record the first out of the inning. A nice play by the Beacons first baseman. That's a few times now today we've seen a player from the Corsairs slide into first. Growing up playing youth baseball through high school, all my coaches always told me never to slide into first. Perhaps that is changing in baseball maybe, but as we've seen it a few times now today out of the Corsairs, that one in there to even up the count for strike 1. Rossi has 2 hits, 3 RBIs today for the Corsairs. There's the count now 2-1. Ryder working out of the stretch. Fires the 2-1. That one rounded foul off to the left. Hits the fence and rolls onto the field as Joey Morrison has to toss it back in. Creep back out to his position. Here comes the 2-2 from Snyder. That one grounded to short. Zerilli Jr. makes the play, rifles to first, and gets the second out of the inning. So a ground out to first, and now a ground out to short for the first 2 outs of the top of the 9th inning for the Corsairs. So Jared Neekum, the DH. Another lefty will stand in here with 2 down in the top of the 9th. Snyder fires breaking ball in there for a called strike one. Good looking pitch there from Beacon's reliever. Here's the 0-1. That one launched out to right field. That one carrying, you can forget about it, and it's out of here. Boy, he crushed that ball. Getting all of it, which will give the Corsairs a 7-2 lead. So a solo shot for Neekum. The DH, that was a monster home run out to right field. So a little bit more insurance here for the Corsairs. And now we're having a conference about it being foul, but that certainly looked like it was inside the foul pole. So the protest being discussed now, so it could potentially work as we'll get a replay of the home run here. We'll see if we can figure out if it was fair or foul. So, and it will stay a home run. So after a brief discussion by the two umpires, they will keep it a home run. And you can see clearly that ball inside the foul pole. But again, just a mammoth home run there by Neekum to extend it to a 5-run lead. So 7-2 now, that coming with 2 outs. As that one now launched out to center, Breon Parker having to go a long way, and that one will drop in and get into the gap in right center field. As Tempone on his horse will pull into second standing with a double. Took a turn to third, but gets back. So 2 solid pieces of contact back to back here in the 9th for the Corsairs. So Snyder, who had gotten the first 2 batters, retired. Lets up the solo shot, now the double. That'll bring up Stafford with 2 out. Also mentioned Snyder in relief for Garner. That one popped up high in shallow right field. Aiden Blake under it. He'll haul it in for the out that retires the side. But the Corsairs will grab another run and take a 7-2 lead going into the bottom of the 9th. So this will be it for the Beacons. As the insurance run coming from Neekum on a monster bomb out to right field. As we'll step aside for a quick break and be back for the bottom of the 9th here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
portion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions. First.
Yeah, welcome back here inside Monin Park for the bottom of the ninth. Beacons down 5 runs, 7-2. They're going to need a miraculous inning here to come back to prevent facing their first conference loss of the season. Andrew Steinhubel, the new pitcher, 7 appearances, a 3-2 record, 8 innings pitched, 6.75 ERA, 10 strikeouts to 5 walks, 1 save on the season. This is not a save situation because the lead is greater than 3 runs. So it'll be Zerilli Jr., Nick Palma, and Boston Burris due up here for the Beacons in the ninth as the first pitch outside for a ball. That one missing inside this time for ball 2. Steinhubel, a sophomore out of Waltham, Mass, listed as 6'7", the righty. That one in for a strike. Count now 2-1, so the Beacons down to their last 3 outs. Is that one missing low for ball 3. Here's the pitch. That one popped high in the air out to right field, but Stafford looks like he's under it. He is, and he'll bring it in for the first out of the inning. So Beacons now down to 2 outs. So Nick Palma now will stand in the DH. Beacons trying to get a rally going here, but need a base runner. Palma takes ball 1. There's the 1-0. That one in there for a called strike to even up the count. That one swung on and missed by Palma. He chases that one a bit high out of the strike zone, so 1-2 now the count to the Beacons' designated hitter. Here it comes. That one missing in the dirt for ball 2. Even the count. That one rounded to the first baseman, fielded cleanly by Keefe, and he'll step on the bag for out number 2. So the Beacons down to their last out. It'll be Boston Burris who will look to keep things going here as the Beacons' first conference loss looks near in this situation, as Burris will take ball 1 inside. That one in for a strike, even the count at 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That one rounded to short, fielded cleanly by Perrin on to first for the out, and that will do it. So the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs hand the Beacons their first conference loss of the season. So the Beacons will drop to 17-10 overall, and now 7-1 in the Little East. UMass Dartmouth improves to 14-12, and now it sits 5-5, 500 in conference play. As we'll look at our final scoring summary for this one. So Beacons got on the board first in the first inning. It was a Justin Gavea homer to right field, his first career home run for the freshman. But then in the third inning, we had a double from Andrew Bryant, the left fielder, who scored Vizina, and then it was Andrew Posse, the third baseman, who singled up the middle, which scored Bryant and Perrin, giving UMass Dartmouth a 3-1 lead. Aiden Blake then hit a home run, his 5th of the year, out to right field to make it a 3-2 game. But then in the 7th, UMass Dartmouth grabbing 3 runs. Perrin tripled, scoring Vizina. Then Bryant singled to center. Perrin scored, and then Posse doubled to left, which scored Bryant. That made it 6-2. And then in the 9th, we saw that monster home run to right field by Jared Neekum, the designated hitter. Well, let's take a look at our road ahead and the schedule for the UMass Boston baseball, as they'll be right back at it here tomorrow for a 4 o'clock matchup against New England College. Then on the 20th, they'll be at Nichols for a 3:30 tilt. And then on the 22nd, they'll be at University of Southern Maine for a doubleheader. First at noon, then at 3:30. Then on the 25th at Plymouth State for a 3 o'clock game. And then back home here on the 26th against Babson. Well, let's thank our productions team here before we sign off. They do a great job as always. Our producer, Michael Vesey, director, Ali Albano, camera operators, Max Clifford, Sonny Green, Sarah St. Cyrin, Grace Kelly on graphics, and Elena Albano on replay as always, who does a fantastic job, as does everybody else on our production team here. Well, that'll do it. Final score here from Monin Park. The UMass Beacons fall to UMass Dartmouth 7-2.